Oh, hi guys. Welcome to the latest episode of Cricket Draft Insight. I have not done this for a while, but hopefully this seems to be working. Okay, I did want to do a Big Bash catch-up video today, but the kids have been at home due to climatic conditions. But Cricket Draft have given me a reason to talk, which is they've predicted the starting 11s, playing 11s for the opening round of the county championship. One or two emissions of players I like. So I'm gonna talk about that now. I'll do what you shouldn't do on YouTube, which I've learned not to do, which is talk about something else to start with, actually. Just massive thank you to anybody who's watched any of my videos. Pretty serious upsurge in viewership, much like the cricket in Australia. Had my most viewed videos ever, regularly getting, north of 100 views for each video rather than 10 or 20. A lot of those, obviously, are just like 1 minute statistical videos. I like to make more of the talky videos, but like I say, I couldn't today. But I've kind of streamlined the whole process for whatever video I'm making in terms of copy and pasting or rearranging furniture or learning how to edit videos better. So it's all a lot more streamlined. Did become a bit mature at one point. Doing reasonably well in the Big Bash, 138th. But anyway, going to talk about the county championship. So I hope this is working. Let's start with Derbyshire. Okay, Derbyshire. So straight off the bat, Caleb Jewell is of interest to me. Despite the fact he's been dropped from his team in every format, I think, in Australia. His averages aren't particularly amazing, but he does have a good conversion rate. And I just think, he's a decent player, age 27, Division 2. It could really work out for him. So if I do pick him, hopefully he's more Peter Hanscom than Tom Bruce, And Aaron Donald at 6, whether or not I get him in my teams, certainly championship. Well, we'll see about finances, maybe not. Still a player hugely excited by. And Zach Chappell actually will be very much on my radar, certainly in the T20s, One Day Cup if he's not at the 100, and we'll see about the county championship. But like Jewell is the one there who is in my reckoning. 6. So I did finish with Cook and Porter last year, and I love Pepper, but I might look to spread the love a little bit in terms of teams. There's a few teams I want like 3 players from. Sam Cook will be in the team as ever, whether or not he could get a bit of a test call up and that affect him. But Sam Cook will certainly be in there, and then we'll see regarding Pepper, Porter, probably not. Did I miss anybody there? Glamorgan. Now, Glamorgan are an interesting one. I can't quite, because I'm not sure if Smale opened at the end of last season, and they have Eddie Byram, who had done all right in his time, and he was injured. Now, I'm very interested by Asa Tribe. He had a horror show to start with. I think he got like 3 ducks in 5. He had about 4 runs after 5 innings, and then he made, a couple of 50s. So really interested to see if he can kick on. I probably won't go for Carlson this year, even though he's got more half centuries than any other player in the last 2 years. I did see some people sort of demanding that he be put back to a batter, which I think is quite possible. There's a lot of players out there, which I'll maybe mention as we go through, batter, all-rounder. I know it's an old chestnut, but I think there's even more now have cropped up. Talk about those as we go through. So Andy Gorbin is not in the team. Now, I really liked him as a white ball player, what I saw last year, and I thought he was a bit hard. I do think he's more of a white ball player, very deceptive bowler, but they picked Fraser Sheet and then I think Ned Leonard, and then eventually went to Gorbin at the end of the season. He took some wickets, and he's not on this team. And I mean, that might well be right. I think he probably still is struggling because they've signed Fernando. And Ben Kellaway finally came good in first-class cricket after a difficult, I think he didn't score a run and take a wicket in his first 2 games. But then he maybe doesn't get in because Mason Crane. And obviously, I think we're starting with the Duke's ball. The Kookaburra ball is not starting with the Kookaburra ball. So, yeah, Gorbin, less an injury there. Gorbin, Kellaway probably don't get in. So I probably shouldn't pick them in my team as much as I like them. Save them for the One Day Cup. Gloucestershire. Obviously, I had Miles Hammond last year, and he did improve. Not set to be in my team this year, but we'll see. Fletcher Middleton, not Ed Middleton, obviously, Hampshire. Ali Now, I'm interested by Tom Prest, but I also think Toby Albert, a good player has to miss out here. Alior, if he's fit, gets another chance. He didn't quite get going last year, did he? I am entertaining the idea of Dawson. So normally I go for this, England uncapped team. And then normally I entertain the idea of picking some slightly more, sprinkling it with international quality. I have got my eye. I mentioned Hanscom, Dawson, one or two other players. I might try and spread mix it up a bit more, have a bit more international quality in there. But like I've been, I've got a spreadsheet going. something will have to give. How much of Turner? How regularly is he going to play first class? And then off the top of my head, then is what happened to Nisa? Did he go to Hampshire? And then who is it they normally have? Abbott and Abbas. Obviously, Abbas is in the Pakistan squad again. Is Abbott not there? Scott Curry, was he on loan at Leicestershire? Did very well. So is he back at Hampshire? So interesting options there. And interesting, I mean, the norm for me, the Kent players I'm interested in aren't in this team. So Michael Cohen, I'm hoping get some game time this year. And I do think Chris Benjamin is a sly little signing. Whether he gets in the first class competition, maybe if Crawley's if Crawley's away with England. Ben Compton's an interesting one. Spoke about him. His career numbers are good, but based on performances in South Africa and Zimbabwe. A good season in England a couple of years ago, but he's averaged 31 the last 2 seasons, and he obviously don't score quickly. So but yeah, at 4 in this list. That maybe changes dependent on Crawley. Grant Stewart was just maybe a little budget one, and Gilchrist, if he's fit, he's raring to go from game 1. There were signs last year that he was getting back to it. And Finch, decent little one, if Benjamin isn't taking the gloves. Now Lancashire, an interesting one, because I actually think Luke Wells finished last season in the middle order, was doing a lot with the ball. Now I think he's reached all-rounder status. I think it was that is it Fonseca? Is it Lancashire? And Singh opened, and I was wondering if Wells might stay in the middle order, but it might be that it's Division 2, so he might go back to open. Bohannon, I'm expecting to. I said before, I saw him back last season. Maybe it's just the way he bats, but he looked like very frenetic. But then the runs did start to come, after I dropped him, scored double 100. And then he did get some runs towards the end of the season, scores reasonably quickly. I don't think England are interested in him, despite his numbers and despite the fact he played for England Lions. I expect in Division 2 him to be back doing well. So he, at one point, I was referring to him as one of my non-negotiables, but like this, what it's like, you're spoiled for choice. So we'll see. Matty Hurst, one of many English players who are having a tough time in the Big Bash, but hopefully goes well again in county cricket next season. And you see, Williams has a good record. He had a couple of good years, and it didn't happen last year. Anderson Phillip did very well. I'm very keen on him. If I am going down this route of just having a bit more international quality, did very well in a few games last year. Has a very good first-class record. I know some people turn their nose up because of his test. He played a couple of tests. One of them was in Australia, like before West Indies did well. Good player, scored some runs too. So I'm interested by him, in Division 2. And I think he's there for like 7 weeks or something, not just 3. Now, Leicestershire, an interesting one because there's a lot of ways they could go here. So Hanscom holding appeal to me, but, he's one of those probably listed as a wicket keeper, maybe don't keep wicket. Because Sol Budinger did actually score some runs in the last couple of games of last season. I'm not sure if Holland got injured or something. Does Kimber definitely start? He didn't do a lot after that, 200 and odd. Does Ben Mike, I think they finished with Travaskis, but then if early season, Scriven's a decent little one. Hull, probably be managed a bit. I think there's probably a lot, but if Curry's left, then we'll see. Now, so yes, Middlesex's batting order is interesting. Holden going to Oak is a possibility. I wondered if Fernandez, because this team has De Caires and Gohar. There's somebody at Holman did very well last season. That was a guinea pig, if you could hear that. Holman did very well in T20s, and then I think did all right in first class. Somebody's Bamber's gone, obviously. So Roland Jones, Helm, Tom Helm said before, I want to like him, but he really struggled last season. Tom Helm, Henry Brooks. So it's Cornwell after that, isn't it? I think there's some other young Koscielny. Higgins, of course, who is playing in Zimbabwe, could be playing for Zimbabwe against England. Who knows? Deploy Guedes at 3. Yeah. Sam Robson. You want a budget, reliable option, like you get some ducks, but you'll also get some hundreds. You do a lot worse than Sam Robson. Northamptonshire. Now, the thing about Northamptonshire I'm slightly concerned about is Darren Lehman's gone to Northamptonshire, hasn't he? So I'm just worried that some things get turned on the head a bit. Like this team, I love Keogh. Zabe is an interesting one in first class, probably listed as a batter, but also the sort of guy who's going to disappear to the Cayman Islands for a week or two in the season. James Sales and Justin Broad. Now, I think Broad will be listed as an all-rounder. Sales too. If you're looking for some budget options, Sales finished very strongly with the bat. Broad probably more so with the ball, but can bat. They're some good options for you. Vasconcelos, I think I mentioned before, is not normally very expensive if he's fit. And probably listed as a wicket keeper if that helped you in any way. Don't know about Dominic Leach being in the 11. Lost Jack White, of course. Nottinghamshire, Duckett here. So obviously, because just looking at some of these teams, so I think some players are at the IPL, and what else? Obviously, England playing, but maybe not playing straight away. I think they play Zimbabwe in May, and then whoever they're playing. But week 1, Duckett there. Ben Slater, Jack Haynes, some highs and lows last year. Varane did very well. Fergus O'Neill for a few weeks. I know he's been dropped in the Big Bash, but he'll do all right for you. Pennington, if he plays, Farhan Ahmed will be very popular. But like I say, if it is Duke's ball initially, maybe not. Team of the Toms. Do I go all the way back to Tom Lamombi? If Kola Cadmore's there, he'll score quickly. Banton, another one, didn't quite work out the Big Bash, but done really well. So great to see him the last year fighting back in first class cricket. Really good example because he's not just gone down the one-day route. And of course, Leach, actually. If he's not with England at home, first choice spinner, Jack Leach, yeah. Right. I haven't checked, but I wasn't sure if Gus Atkinson was at the IPL. Obviously, signed Matt Fisher. Tom Laws, he's unfortunate to miss out, isn't he? But, that top 6 have all played for England. They might not have all averaged 40 for England, but they're decent players. Sibley, Burns, you do all right there. Cameron Steele in that 11, because Ryan Patel did finish well last year, actually. He took his one-day form into the county championship. But if these guys are all available, but then could Ryan Patel be instead of Steele? But then they wouldn't have a spinner, one of the pacers, but then none of these were Lawrence bowls. So, maybe you could have Ryan Patel, and then Steele isn't in, and Lawrence, Steele's a good player. But Ryan Patel's probably hard done by if he's dropped there. Daniel Hughes, such a shame that he's injured. Now, Tom Alsop, I just clocked when I was looking, actually. He's not been very expensive. And I think I did post a bit back about how his numbers in the last 3 years across the formats are like averages north of 40. And I think first class and list A, and maybe it was north of 13 T20. Like, there is evidence that he's a very good player now. James Coles, just the thing is, he's an all-rounder, and he was a bit slow going with the bat last year, and I think he scored 100 later on. Obviously, he did very well the year before. But because of Carson, I don't know that Coles, like in the same way that some people would tell me not to pick Rob Keogh, probably reasons why you shouldn't pick James Coles, but maybe he gets back on fire with the bat. And then this does have Henry Crocombe in, actually, who finished last season strongly. Sean Hunt missing out. John Simpson probably still goes strong. Now, Warwickshire. Now, I was disappointed by Bamber last year, and now he's going into Division 1. I am very interested. So if Bethel is not around, I don't know, is he at the IPL? Because obviously you're going to be playing for England, but some England players are named in his squads. I'm very interested to see what happens to Daniel Mousley in first-class cricket, whether he just becomes a white ball player or whether it just clicked in first-class cricket, because I think he did get left out somewhere along the line at the end of last season. He hasn't really done a lot. I think there was one innings, wasn't there? I still think he like it could just be you pick him this season, not too expensive, and he just like takes off as a first class player. So initially, if he's not, not clashing with the 100, or he's his New England white ball games, actually could be a shrewd pick. Right, Worcestershire are a team I have a slight issue with. So Roderick still appeals to me. Had him in the One Day Cup. A lot of wicket keepers appeal to me, but it's still this case of Roderick opens the batting and keeps wicket. I actually think is of great value. Kashif Ali is he dried up a bit in the county championship after he missed a lot of the white ball games, but he's playing in Pakistan again. I thought it was supposed to be now, but I think his team doesn't have a game in the first week. And he was talking about developing as an all-rounder. Interesting to see what happens there. Matthew Waite. Now, I haven't really put him in any of my provisional teams. I just know he'll take wickets and score runs quickly. But he'll also get injured, rested somewhere along the line. Tom Taylor did well, but Jacob Duffy's in great form, by the way. Ethan Brooks, for me, was the most improved player on the circuit last year. Recently hit 5 sixes, 5 balls in the Hong Kong sixes. And he did score 132 in the penultimate game of last season. So I think he's hard done by if he's not in this 11. Yorkshire. So if Root is available and Bairstow, if they're playing, I think Tattersall does keep wicket. I don't think there's been a major announcement, but I think Shah Massoud sort of confirmed he'd left. So there's no overseas signing has been mentioned, and I don't know if Tattersall has been officially announced, but I'm assuming Tattersall's captain. So even if Bairstow's playing, he's keeping wicket. Now, I would like George Hill to be in my team. Ben Code will be in my team. Jordan Thompson, then probably not. Wharton, people will be keen on Wharton, but I also obviously he's only young, but I'm like, he's got 269 or whatever last season, and you get hundreds in FE format, and I'm like, probably not going to quite repeat that. Bean will be looking to bounce back. Probably looking at Wharton more in white ball. Anyway, that's it. I probably clicked through someone I shouldn't have. So I've been trapped in all day. So, I was going to make the other video and wanted to talk. There was something else I wanted to say about. Oh, the thing was, I'd done some of these before, and then I semi-accidentally deleted some of the live streams, which was a bit annoying, which led me to go and delete a few of my older videos that only had 8 views. But that's just my thoughts on the county championship squads. I've already been giving my squad some thought. Doing all right in the Big Bash. It was a shame that today was rained off because that was a pretty critical game, but can't complain. Once again, thank you. I hope this has worked. Thank you very much for anybody who's watched my videos, because getting some views obviously makes it a bit more worthwhile, and it is nice to check the numbers in the morning and see they're going up by the hundreds rather than the one video, 2 videos. But yeah, leave it at that. All the best. Thank you very much for watching. I can't even remember how to stop this. How's that?